Welcome to the FPL USA Press Play Podcast. You got Bucks and Brian. We're humbling ourselves, and we are here to record some good old quality FPL content because it was a soggy, sorrow-filled game week, wasn't it, Brian?
That was me drinking a beer and drinking my FPL pain away. My goodness, Bucks. I had an absolute shocker. One of the worst game weeks of my career. And, I'm so glad FPL is back so that we can deal with these moments of adversity and, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words here, Bucks. I need a venting session for the podcast this week for sure.
Yeah, that might be what this is today. Again, we are the official audio home of the hashtag FPL USA. I'm Bucks. That's my co-host. And he was the best manager on the podcast last season. This season, the tables might have turned a little bit, but it's still very early. Let's not go bragging about rank. Brian, we have a mini league. Let's tell the listeners about it. And then let's get our venting, our complaints out right here and at the top about the horror show that was game week 2.
Oh, a horror show it was. We got the spooky season right around the corner in a few months, but it came early for my game week. Jeez. But first and foremost, please join us and compete against the hosts and many other managers with our FPL Press Play Palooza League. Bucks. The code here to join us, we're going to leave it open for a few more game weeks, but it is PELL04. Please join us. We'll be sending out some swag, some kits, maybe in a few shekels into the pocket if you place in the top 3 or win one of the cup competitions this year.
Why not?
So get involved. Free to play. Just give us a follow and, support the pod.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into it. I'll go first. I think I had the more vanilla of a game week. I land on 50 points all out. First red arrow secured of the season. Probably will not be the last if seasons past are any sign of things to come. And it was a painful one, more on what wasn't than what actually happened, because I think I was one of the bold managers who went against much of the field with a Cole Palmer captain. And, Chelsea play with the least rest. They get the opening match of game week 2 on Friday. And minutes before the ball is kicked, he's slated to start at right wing. He has to come off for an injury in the warm-ups. And I am just absolutely losing my mind, because you then watch the game and it was a goal fest and it was an absolute Chelsea domination. So just dreaming of the points that I didn't quite receive. And yeah, I got my 50-50 call wrong, which was Dubravka versus Sanchez. Dubravka outscores Sanchez 6-3. Not a big deal there, but 50 points all out. Small red arrow. Ranks don't matter yet. Whatever. My team's okay. Let's go to you,
50
Brian.
50 points. I would do terrible things for a 50-point game week, because that's only a few below the average. Bucks average was about 54, I think you needed for a green arrow, thereabouts. And this week, I trickled in a mere 33 points. And going into this morning, which is we're recording on Monday night, I had 20 points, thereabouts. Pretty pathetic. It's
not what you want to see, right?
No, it's a lot of unfortunate events happened for my team. And the biggest and boldest of those was Bruno punting his penalty kick out of this universe, out of this galaxy, and just into oblivion. And I was actually with our co-host, our West Coast host, Mr. Black Wolf himself.
I was going to say, come on.
And so that was a high. We were eating breakfast together, bright and early. I had the big match, Fulham and Man U, on the tablet, but we both could not believe that he had missed the pen, because both of us
have Bruno, right? It's like twisting the knife. You're having such a good time.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, maraschino cherry landed into your espresso martini. It's like, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. This is why you get Bruno for these matches versus Fulham and Burnley next week, where he gets DEFCON, he gets maybe a couple bonus points, gets the goal. So I really, really needed his 10-point haul because I had a lot of zeros across my
Well,
team. Pretty pathetic, but I mean, I have players like De Kuiper. I started Pedro Porro over the likes of Full Crew, but Full Crew still comes off the bench for Palmer. It's just an utter disaster. And then Verts and these other guys on my team, Verts and Watkins, just doing jack squat. So I'm in a world of pain right now, and I'm sitting at 9 million OR.
yeah, who
Whew,
cares? It's so
whew.
early. I will say, you mentioned the Bruno thing. Let's just put that under a microscope right now because going into game week 3, he's one of the players that a lot of managers have very high on their watch list. And he's still Bruno hauls thus far this season. However, I think there's many situations where that plays out differently. And all of a sudden, Bruno isn't on a 2-pointer, right? He's on a 12-pointer. And so that's just still where we're at the point of this FPL season. Such fine margins making such a huge difference when it comes to the overall score and your rank. And that's just kind of the cruel mistress that is variance over the course of this 38 game week season. So, it's
I don't
not
know.
all
It's
fun.
just
That's not what we
it's
play FPL for.
it's just absurd to like spend some time focusing on building a team for the first 4 game weeks, and then to go through these players with high X mins and multiple ways to score points, and you end up with Jack Diddley. Like I can't believe the amount of time that I put into this game.
Oh, come on. Speaking of time, Brian, we got to let's talk about DEF CON before we shout out managers who actually got things right this game week. I mean, DEF CON, I must have wasted a full half day of my life doing DEF CON research, reading some brilliant graphics on socials about, the most essential DEF CON options. There were spreadsheets, there were graphics. Unbelievable. I think we have maybe 5, maybe 6 actual DEF CON monsters who have hit it 2 games in a row. I don't think any of those teams have double clean sheets. So it's a disaster. Totally can't believe I changed my whole strategy to get center backs because it's so much more fun to get goals and assists. So DEF CON,
so far we've had Van Dijk,
points on that one.
Yeah, Van Dijk, Byrne, Delict, Tarkowski, LaCroix, Vandenberg, and Senesi. Those are the only players to...
What is that, 6, 7?
And Weifer, whoever that is on Brighton, I think. So 8 total players to get DEF CON in both weeks. But
absurd.
A few of those are monster hauls. Like Tarkowski could have been on back-to-back 10-pointers, and I think he scored like 11 points in their 2-0 win. So if you can hit a few of those, they're massive point hauls. Like Senesi came away with 10 points for a 4.5 defender on Bournemouth. So there are going to be those moments where it really skyrockets you up. Versus I went with somebody like mother bleeping De Kuiper, and he has let me down. 0-pointer this week.
I warned you.
Lets
I warned
the
you about
clean
the
sheet
Brighton.
get wiped in the 96th minute. So now I am proclaiming on the pod right now, I will not own another Brighton player the rest of the season, no matter the circumstances. Even if it's a 4-team free hit, I will own none of them. I refuse. This is
Brian, we're here
disaster.
for you. We're here for you, and we really back that decision for your mentals, for your stress, and for your overall point.
And then Hertzler's just a bleeping liar. He didn't say a damn thing about
nothing about Jorginho, Rudder.
Just being completely out of the squad. It's like, what? A bunch of lies.
And he said that Welbeck's injury might be longer last week. So it's just like, Brighton stay brightening. Not our days though. They are haunting our dreams right now. Let's talk about a manager who did get some things right. This is our weekly shout out. We call it the manager of the game week. And that goes to, gosh, I love getting to pronounce this name. Thank you for that, Brian. This is Musangwi through 26, aka Niawulo Vukea. I think I smashed that. Holy cow.
Not bad.
Give myself a pound.
You smashed it like he smashed the game week.
Yeah, 87 points. Wow. Gyökeres captain. That was one of the actual big calls that did deliver. He has Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro, and Mark Cucurella as his Chelsea triple up. I love that. That's pretty cool.
30 points between those 3 players.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Then you get Gakpo with 10 points. You get Raya in goal stacked with Gabriel. That's 12 points from the Arsenal defense. Yeah.
Good
Well
Lord.
done. That's a playing your own game kind of success story right here. And yeah, he's showing the template who's boss because he's ranked inside the top 50K.
Yeah.
Love
Wow.
that.
That's an incredible score. And I have to give props to anyone who went for the Gyökeres cap, especially after
It made a
getting
lot of sense.
55, 58 minutes last, in game week 1, not even getting to 60 and looking like, pretty average at best, considering it was his first Premier League match. And he definitely shined out. And that last minute penalty was a high for many people to get the 12 pointer.
Yeah. I mean,
so well done for that shout.
That's an elevator of a score right there, because otherwise he's on, just like a regular return.
Yeah, 7.
All of a sudden he gets bonus. Yeah, it's big
But all the
difference.
captaincy shouts did pretty poor this week. So I saw a few Sakas. I saw some people, obviously, tons of the game on Salah, a few people on random assets, but nobody really banged.
Like Watkins and Haaland also. So Watkins and Haaland each get 2 points. Then you have Saka with 6, Salah with 5. Palmer should have had that double-digit triple haul.
He was going to be on a 13-pointer in that match, probably. That was a get-right game for him.
At least. West Ham are, so far, the only thing I think we know for certain this season is that West Ham are a fixture to target for FPL returns. You agree on that?
Let's just transition over there, Bucks. Let's talk about how Chelsea fared on Friday in that fixture. I was excited to have both Sanchez and Palmer in that match, and I end up with 3 points between the two players. So that was a bit rough. I did not have the right assets like Cuckoo or João Pedro like you did.
Yeah, João Pedro looked fantastic. He was the manager of the match by far. He gets, triple return. You'll take that each and every day of the week. 15-pointer. And, Chelsea go 1-0 down. It looks like the game's very much in question after, a very shaky start, understandably so. You're on the road. Your best player goes off right before you walk out for kickoff with what looks like a muscle injury. So stay tuned for more information there. But it's a disaster situation, and you have to bring an 18-year-old off the bench to kind of deputize him and start his first Premier League game. So they go down 1-0. It could have been 2-1 pretty easily. All of a sudden, Chelsea just, went into overdrive, and they poured it on. 5 straight goals. Defenders are getting in on the action. Caicedo. But what I saw was, one, João Pedro. He's a great pick. He's probably one of the template picks that are coming good so far. He looks the part, certainty of minutes, can play at the 9 and the 10. Might now be on penalties. Who knows? I mean, 7.5 million
on penalties
looks like a steal for FPL. So he's one that template got right.
The main data point we got there was that he could play behind Delap.
Yeah, and they don't always have to interchange.
Yeah, and still play like he played the full 90, right? Like he played almost the entire match, even though it was a blowout.
Yeah,
and we saw Delap go off at 60. So I think they're gonna, trust his skill set to slot in wherever Maresca needs him to be, and that's a big call. I was not sure if he would be playing in that 10 spot as often. So great asset. He's price rising. It was a good pick by you for sure. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and it really should have come good. And I was mentioning on social, if you follow me, that's great. You get some insight into my knowledge of Chelsea, but I predicted exactly the way that they was going to line up, and that's what made
Pat
me
yourself on the back, Bucks. Nice work.
So I like that. Let's go to another team in London.
Hold on. I got to whinge about my Sanchez clean sheet. This was an absolute ass kicking, and somehow Chelsea give up this absurd shot from Paquetá. Oh my goodness! This was the XG on the shot was 0.01. It was an absurd shot, just with his left foot booted with tons of spin, and Sanchez was just not even thinking he had the audacity to take the shot, and he
was fooled by
it. Bad positioning, and just to lose the clean sheet. I mean, I guess it was a consolation to get the one save point from him, but super frustrating. And I know you and I both started Sanchez, I believe, over Dubravka. I was never going to start Dubravka in goal. And I feel like Chelsea were they should have been closer to a clean here. And I had Füllkrug, who I benched. So I specifically benched Füllkrug for Pedro Porro. I started Pedro Porro versus City. good process, and I still get punished by getting this fucker off the bench for 1 point because Cole Palmer and his moaning groin take me down into the dark abyss where I flounder around and look for signs of life. I'm in pain, Bucks. I'm in pain.
Well, I got the illustrious, the gooey man himself, Hot S'more on a warm summer night. I got his 1-pointer off the bench. So
that sticky, icky.
Yeah, we got to 1 point very different ways. Let's go to another team in London that was celebrating. That's Spurs. I think they are the team that is really surprised with how hot they've started this season. They go to Manchester City. They turn the screw. Haaland was a popular captain choice for those who picked the robot over the king, and he blanks 2 points. Bigger story here. Thomas Frank gets his first back-to-back Premier League wins at Spurs before Ruben Amorim gets his first back-to-back wins at Manchester United. What do you think about that, Brian?
I mean, who saw this clean sheet coming? And especially, they didn't quite park the bus. They played a back four. I was expecting
it was pretty
Thomas
dominant.
Frank to line up with the back five and play even more defensively. But Spurs just have City's number. It's kind of hilarious. Like Brennan Johnson has scored a couple times now in a Spurs kit versus Man City. And, you know, we've always rated Thomas Frank, and it's interesting to see him with better talent and see how far this Spurs team can go. I mean, they were just outside the relegation zone last year, come away with a Europa win, and they have tons and tons of matches to play this season. They lose out on Eze, which is tough after you thought that it might happen, especially because they kind of need a 10 long-term with the injuries of Kulu and, of course, Madison. But overall, you just rate the manager and what he's done so quickly to hold a couple cleans here to start the season. We'll see if they can continue it. There are assets. You know, Kudu's blanks in this game, but he was relentless. He was somebody that was pressing and fighting for every ball, and a player that is going to win Frank's trust in any position that he's put in. So I'm liking what I'm seeing through, that perspective.
Yeah, I thought he was exceptional. I also thought Polina was a man who just single-handedly twisted the screw in the center of the park. He was fantastic. He gets a well-deserved 11-pointer. He gets a goal. DEFCON got some bonus points there. So he was fantastic. And I just think credit to Thomas Frank and the way that his coaching is really bedding in with this team, because they have 2 clean sheets to start the season, and they were one of the worst defenses to end last season. So just a couple practices and training sessions with this new top manager, and he's really getting the message across. So
not to mention, they had that like ridiculous run where they're playing like the hardest opponents in preseason, and that probably, playing PSG, getting their ass
and Bayern, it's a good warm up,
making adjustments and being able to bring that all together to face a unproven City side who have tons of worldly talents, but obviously need time to gel, as is the case with a lot of these Premier League teams that bring in new talent. So very interesting to see. I mean, from what I saw, the XG for Man City like 1.5, so they did rack up
pretty
like
even.
A couple big chances. But
it was
obviously, variance was on the Spud side, and that's a huge away win for their confidence. I just think as like a new team under a new manager, that confidence can go a long way. So we'll see if it continues.
For sure. Yeah, and the vibes, watching that game, Haaland had a good chance in the first half. Other than that, kind of just felt like Spurs were dominating. I mean, obviously the numbers flatter City a little bit, but I don't really think it was ever in doubt once Spurs got their second goal. They just really were in control. City couldn't really break through and find Haaland in the center. I thought Cherky, actually, he had a wobble of a game. So yeah, a lot more points to be had by Manchester City, but just really interesting. Spurs are definitely a team to put into focus as we kind of learn more in this Premier League season. So
yeah, imagine owning Frimpong and then going straight to Aït-Nouri and then having those 6 million defenders both being hurt. Like, brutal.
And then now you have to go to like Romero or VDV.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
Let's go to Arsenal. I think they're the last team that I really want. Yeah. Fantastic start to the season. People are swerving them because they have a tough opening
run. What they do.
But, I wouldn't say this is the most impressive opponent to destroy 5-0, but you got to beat the teams in front of you, and they just absolutely mowed down Leeds. It was an unfair fight, and Jurrien Timber was the man who brought the bazooka gun to this match. 24-pointer. That was not on my bingo card to start the season.
This is the second highest return for a defender of all time. Out
Second?
of nowhere.
Really? No way.
Second highest ever.
Like in a single game week or just in anything, even a double game week?
I think it's single game week.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah, which is just like absolutely insane because he was benched in game week 1. He didn't even start. So 2 goals and an assist and a clean sheet. Bonus. No DEFCON though. Weak. Got to put in the 26-point shift if you want my respect.
Timber, man. That's why we didn't pick him, right? Because he doesn't get the DEFCON.
I mean, there's rotation in that side, but there's a version of my side that I woke up on deadline day in game week 1 where I just had, instead of Full Crew, I had Gabrielle. And I really, really wish that would have been the case because they just, they're a great defensive team. They're going to churn out lots of performances where he's getting 6 to 10 points. And it just feels,
I agree.
It feels so
I think
light
the
that
fixtures
I didn't go that way.
The fixtures were telling a different story. They play, I believe it's Liverpool, Newcastle, and Chelsea in the next 4 game weeks, something like that.
Yep. Gyökeres gets off the Schneid, looks good and gets his first well-taken goal. But unfortunately, injuries in the midfield. We see both Saka and Odegaard pick up injuries. I don't know actually too much about the Ode injury, but I think Saka is going to be 3 to 4 weeks minimum. No update on Ode, so it's.
But Saka, honestly, that's good news. That's good news because I know a lot of the Arsenal fans we were chatting with yesterday were like, "Oh man, he might miss first half of the season." So he'll be back before the second international break, and again, kind of big names that are now on IR in the training room. That's Cole Palmer, Saka. We got Odegaard, Nori, and Jorginho Rudder, just to name a few of them. Anything else we want to touch on in game week 2?
Well,
should we give some love to Liverpool, maybe?
Oh, yeah. We're coming off the heels of that match earlier today. A 3-2 victory where the teenager has his massive moment and puts in a winner. Mr. Rio. What a crazy, insane match.
Hat tip to the former Chelsea lad. What a goal that was in extra time. Liverpool, they're like
for your first ever career. For your first ever career goal, like that is a moment that will stay with him the rest of his life. And
game winner so on the road. Holy cow.
He's like, doesn't even have his driver's license yet. And he pulls the game winner out of his hat in the 108th minute or whatever it was to secure the 3 points. And crazy. But
Brian,
overall, disappointing for FPL assets in Salah and Verts. Where are these guys?
For FPL, it hasn't been a great game week. But just these 2 Liverpool matches as a neutral, listen, I root for Chelsea, so I don't want Liverpool to be successful. But they're just pure footballing joy right now. Like I'm injecting it into my veins during the matches. They've had 2-0 leads. They've blown them both games. Then they pour in 7 goals. I mean, you're getting everything from a Liverpool match. And I don't know how they're going to keep it up for another 36 games.
It's just like the same,
might have a heart attack.
The same game script. It's crazy. Obviously, from a defensive point of view, Virgil is doing what he does. He's getting his DEFCON points, which they need.
He's being let down by the guys around him, though. The defense Konate around Virgil
especially bad
horrible
today. Yeah, Konate's been bad.
Kirk's got dunked on.
Yeah, Kirk's.
Guimaraes put his nuts in that guy's head. It was embarrassing.
Not to mention, there were some rash tackles to open that match. In the first 10 minutes, I was like, man, these guys are amped up for a Monday. They rested all weekend.
They were looking to end up in the hospital. We should talk. I mean, Gordon's red card, straight red down the back of VVD's Achilles. That was a nasty looking one. Deserved red card, but it was really interesting, because after he goes off, you're like, oh, game over. Liverpool, they're just gonna cruise to the finish line.
Well, Ekatike, the palindrome man, scores in the 48th minute, right off
right after
halftime, and you're like, oh, this could get ugly early,
4-0, 45 minutes with man down against Liverpool. But, just watching the game, it was like second half, I asked on social and I meant it, who's the team down a man? Because Liverpool all of a sudden totally out of ideas and Newcastle were all over them. So I mean, big takeaway, I think, so far. Liverpool probably avoid the defense, but Ekitike and Gakpo really seem to be the picks
The
as
Gackening,
opposed to, yeah.
2
What do you
assists.
think? Is that going to continue?
I would feel more secure in a week or two when we know what's happening with Isak.
Yeah, all
But
right. You're
I
you're
have to
turning into
give
Black Wolf. Come on, that's too
I have to give
pragmatic.
no, I have to give props to Ekatike though. He's come in, he's taken his shots just very, very confidently, and that's not something that I was expecting out of him early doors in the Premier League. But obviously, he's been practicing and training and linking up on those 1-2s with the other Liverpool attackers, and I just thought he was going to really kind of struggle out of the gates. But the dominant possession, he's finding the right spots, and 8.5 if Isak doesn't come to fruition.
Oh, he's a
I mean,
must. He becomes a must get.
he probably is compared to owning Verts, who's playing deep, and he's obviously hasn't gotten off to a hot start for FPL. I just wanted an assist from him in this match. I can't even buy that, let alone Salah being absent for 60 plus minutes when they're up a
Nah, I
man.
mean, just Ekitike, 8.5 million. I think he's a brilliant value in FPL. Even if Isak doesn't come in, I think he still will offer value. But I think we're much closer to being unsure that Isak is coming than we were maybe even 2 weeks ago. And Ekitike,
Some guys in the group chat just like the price has gone up for Isak
yeah,
now after they pulled this rabbit out of the hat.
190 million now. It's like every
500
minute of
million.
extra time.
Don't
yeah,
sell him. Don't sell him.
Now, I
You
will
can
say
sit on
that
pout on the sideline.
Ekitike on 20 FPL points. He has 2 goals and 1 assist. I think he was amazing in the home debut in game week 1. The physicality of Newcastle started to get to him a little bit in this match, and you started to see his frustration. He's adapted to the Premier League so much better than Verts has. And I think that's very hard to predict coming into the season where they're both priced the same. And just one thing about Salah, he's now gone 2 complete 90s of regular time, pretty much doing less than nothing.
He's a marathon man.
2 returns in extra time. So that's kind of why you get Salah, though, right? I mean, you get him for the fact that he never comes off the field. He's always hunting for his return. That's what makes him such a good FPL asset, as opposed to some of these other guys.
Yeah, his goal threat today was non-existent, but his assist threat was pretty high. He set up a big chance for Jones earlier in the match where he just completely fluffed it. He could have gone
he fluffed it
either way.
He might have hurt a child the way that he missed the ball so much.
And then I just want to talk about on the other side for Newcastle, inspiring performance, especially when Anthony Gordon went out with the red card. But in the first 30 minutes, they were all over Liverpool as well. Like they were getting the bigger chances. And I think my personal opinion is that they just need a better 9 in there. If the chances,
I think they'll be all right. I agree with you.
If the chances that Anthony Gordon got though in the first 30 minutes, he had a couple big chances. If that's Vissa, there's at least one of those goals is being scored. So I'd love to see
on Isak.
AGO, back on the left and a striker in there. It's not going to be Isak, so we'll see who it is. But it was an inspiring performance, and that midfield you got to respect so much between Bruno G, Tonali and Joe Linton. They really are a physical bunch in that midfield, and that's going to make for a long day at the office for most opponents.
Yeah, I'm glad you shouted out Newcastle. I think they have been the most impressive of the teams in the bottom half of the table right now. They're only on 1 point. Kind of hard done. They easily could be on 6 points if things break a little bit differently.
Yep.
Let's move the ball forward. Let's pass it through the middle and into attack and fast forward to look ahead to game week 3. Now, to do that, I really think we focus on the best matches to target. And then once we're done with that, let's get the community involved with some mailbag and some highs and lows.
I have no crystal ball over here after 33 points. So mine is broken. I'm going to need yours. Please help me. Please help me, Bucks.
Okay, I'll do my best. I'm also, a million ranked kind of manager right now. I think we start with the Manchester United match. They're hosting Burnley. Manchester United need to get a win in the worst way. And Burnley, especially on the road, we've seen them be very get-atable. So I think 2-0 to the hosts. And I don't hate going for one of their players for game week 3 as your captain, but I'm not sure I would make a move to transfer them in just because the fixtures after the IB are less than ideal. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, we have no Friday fixture this week. I was kind of
Thank
enjoying the
God.
Friday and Monday
Yeah, come
fixtures.
on.
I love that. I love when there's 4 straight days of footy to look forward to, and maybe a few shekels being wagered on some of these high impact moments. But
Yeah. You'll have to actually take your lunch break and go to the restaurant this week.
I know, right? Who else we got here? NFO
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
West Ham. Who's
Forest
West Ham
hosts
team?
West Ham.
Is
West
Potter
Ham.
going to be the first fired? Are you going to wager on
Yeah.
that?
I think he might be in very serious danger. I mean, West Ham, they just look absolutely, as soon as you get past Bowen running after the ball, they're pretty much completely out of ideas. And I don't know, the board
They're
either
just so slow. Like their midfield is terrible, and then they have old Fulkrug and old ass Callum Wilson, and like I
I
guess they have
told
like
you about Fulkrug, dude. He's only running for like maybe 50% of the balls that are
yeah,
sent his way. He's like, I'm not getting that.
yeah,
No, thank you. That's too far to run. He's
yeah.
just like he's a if 50% of the time kind of player. And I don't know, West Ham are not generating tons of chances. So it's a
No,
little
I mean their
spooky days for
midfield
them.
is terrible. Like
I mean, they're
there's
playing
just a slow ass.
JWP.
Yeah, why is
What a joke.
JWP playing? Garbage.
They
He's
used
a
to have a
has been.
really good academy. I mean, surely there's like some 16 or 17-year-olds who deserve minutes over these guys. I mean, come on, have some ideas.
Yeah, I think he could last till I don't know game week 6, and if they haven't done much, he's gonna be axed once
I'm
again.
telling you, I think that's 3-0 to Forest. So I think Forest are an interesting team.
I
Chris
think
Wood
Jared
could
Bowen
get back
is
in the
due
goals.
for a return, so I'm going to say 2-1, but it's a
2-1.
2-0
Ooh, a nail
cruising
biter.
game, and then Bowen gets a late consolation goal for FPL managers.
All right. Well, surely this will be the match that will get you some FPL points. This is Manchester City facing the De Kuipers of Brighton. Brian, clean
The
sheet points
Goipers.
coming right to you. 2-0 to City.
Yeah, Brighton defensively, when I was watching the highlights, just looked
Not
like
it.
utter trash. They were all over the place. So I fancy City to get back on their high horse here. I think this is a 3-0 match, especially
Ooh.
if
Goals.
Reuter is out again. They just have a mixed bag of players that I have no confidence in. Even at the Amex, I just don't see it.
Yeah,
and,
the fortress of credit card points. Let's go to the best matches in real life. This is for, get your popcorn out if you love Premier League football, because even the neutrals should be tuned into these two. That's Arsenal at Liverpool. This is the real heavyweight bat of game week 3. Yeah, pretty even. I wish Saka and Odegaard were fit. I would like to see them go against each other.
This is the Sunday best fixture.
Liverpool. Yeah. I think Liverpool pip it 2-1, but I think it's a very interesting, fun game again. Maybe 3-2. 3-2.
Yeah, it's terrible timing for Arsenal to not have Odegaard and Saka for this, obviously.
Yeah, because this could be a statement win kind of situation for them.
And we've just seen Liverpool be really ropey in the back, right? So now you're going to have either Medweke or Wanyeri come in to deputize on the right, and then Eze is going to come in.
Right off the transfer.
Yeah, he's going to have to come in and play behind. So it should be an interesting game. I think the home crowd is going to be really up for it. But I see goals here, though, because I just rate Liverpool's ability to manufacture 2 goals a game against anybody. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
So you don't think the Anfield Magic is going to strike again 3 times in 3 game weeks?
I will not be captaining Mo in this one, out of sheer respect to Arsenal, based on what I've seen.
All right, I like this. I like where we're going. Now, last one, I do want to highlight Bournemouth traveling to play against Tottenham. Now, I think these have been 2 of the more impressive sides to start the season. I know Bournemouth did lose their opening match away to Liverpool, but I still think they were a team that looked like they're going to be
a draw for sure.
Team to reckon with this season. So I think this is a really good measuring stick for Spurs, coming off the high of beating City on the road. you can kind of sleep on Bournemouth if you're not fully ready for what they have to bring to offer. So I think 3-2 to the hosts. I think this is going to be the wild game of the week.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I mean, we haven't seen...
Spurs haven't given up a goal yet. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So to give up multiple goals, I don't know. We will see. We will see. As long as Romero and VDV are still healthy, they're putting in pretty good shifts so far. So I'm just excited. Yeah, that one's a great neutral watch, and I believe that match is on. That's like one of the best matches on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the Saturday feature.
Yeah, cool. Looking forward to that.
You're
for
planning
sure.
your weekend out. You got to make sure that the little one is taking naps at convenient times for these kickoffs.
I know. Chelsea and Fulham is 4:30 in the morning.
Not ideal. Yeah,
that's a watch in the bed on the tablet under the covers.
That's my wife's favorite fixture. She's like, oh, when Chelsea's in the opening window, she knows she gets to sleep in, and as long as she comes out with a Chelsea jersey on, it doesn't even matter what the score is.
Yeah, you'll take care of the little one in the first session for feeding her.
I'll probably be 3-on-1 for the first half, so that'll be brilliant, and I'll hopefully get some dad points in as well as some points on the table for Chelsea Blues. All right, Now it's time to get the listeners involved. This is the moment hopefully many of you are waiting for. Should we start with the mailbag or the highs and lows? Do we want to let them off easy or kind of let them land right on their booties?
We can go through the highs and lows quick here. We only have a few this week submitted on social, but we have Black Wolf says the high, meeting up with yours truly at FPL USA Brian in person. The low, all of FPL, and he still outscored me by a pretty penny. But
I was gonna say, hopefully you covered the bill because he even beat you in the FPL points this game week.
I know. I will confirm I did cover the bill.
There
of course, for Mr. Black Wolf. Come on. He did me a solid, and he drove further to meet me so I could be closer to get back to the baby and family. So it was great to see Black Wolf, and he's in high spirits. He's going to be on our Game Week 4 preview. So we're excited to have him back next episode.
Come on, Wolfie.
Yeah, he'll be with us. We're going to have a guest who is likely to be on Wildcard and having a good start to his season. So we'll tease that next weekend. Next up, we have at FPL the underdog _ highs. Having JP and first off the bench for Palmer is Anderson, who came in with a 4-pointer. So Fulham defender, 4-pointer.
Points. We
the
take
4-pointer is like it feels good. 3 points are like, nah. 4-pointer is like, it was almost a return, right? So
that's a haul. Come on, DEFCON.
So the DEFCON. And then the low, he also had the Bruno missed PK. Double Villa of Watkins and Rogers. You know all about that, Bucks. Woof.
Try a triple on for size. Come on.
Yep. And then one other low we had here is from my Cayman fan, aka Matt, as a Man U fan. The Bruno miss was the absolute dagger, and his template 11 has not done well to start the season. So all these picks that were promised points from have not delivered.
What's going on here? All right, let's dive our hands deep into the unknown of the hashtag FPL community question mailbag.
I had no idea where you were going with that.
Is there going to be a rattlesnake? Is there going to be a teddy bear? Or is there going to be
Did you ever do that exercise as a kid where you like make the cardboard box and then you put something in it and then you have to like have your brother or sister put their hand inside it, and then sometimes it'd be like a plate of spaghetti or it'd be like a prickly little like succulent. Oh, those are always hilarious to me.
I'm soft. I'm a fraidy cat. I mean, other than until I met you, I was reasonably risk averse. So, FPL has really brought out this wild side of me.
Yeah, I have my chin print all over you, Mr. Buck's mom.
Yeah, it's like VVD's Achilles down, right? It's like big scrape marks from all those bets we've lost.
I'm always with you, Bucks. You can't get rid of me.
Oh, in our hearts, baby. All right, now let's go into the mailbag because the listeners are kind of grossed out by this conversation. They're like, who the hell are these idiots? All right. First one. Let's try and be smart here. Wild card, game week 3, or hold off until after the IB. So I think this is a classic dilemma that's going through many minds in the FPL community. Historically, you want to have the international break. That way you can make a team and kind of price rise farm for 2 weeks, especially in the beginning of the season when price changes really kick you right in the butt. I think that is a classic strategy. That being said, I think with the new transfer rules where you can bank up to 5 transfers and the transfers roll over through chip use and the additional chips that we do have this first half of the season, kind of feel like if your wildcard 3 draft, go for it. But I almost like the free hit chip more, or just using 2 free transfers, or even take a hit. I would take a hit. If you really have Palmer and Saka and say Watkins, and you're like, I can't watch these guys anymore, just take a -4, save the wild card. I still think we don't quite know the best 11 for that wild card draft. So I would almost recommend burn a -4 and keep that chip in your pocket for future game weeks. Brian, I know
I'm half with you. I'm
you're
half
like
with you on
you're
your
hearing me
take.
say -4, and I see you
Nah.
like getting the fire extinguisher out. You're getting so mad.
There's no need to take a -4 when you have plenty of bench players that can come in. Use your 2 free transfers, maybe deal with Palmer or Saka or some of your injuries, but no need to take a hit unless you're obsessed with getting Erling Haaland or Mo Salah into your team. That's like the only scenarios that you should
I
be
don't know.
really
I think if you have
looking at
like
hits.
Cole and Saka, and say you're a Manchester United fan, like touch the third rail, get
You don't
Mbomo
need to
and
take a hit though.
Bruno.
You can get those
just get
guys in
them.
with no hit because they're so expensive. That's the funny thing, right? It's like
Yeah,
the
that's true.
players that got injured this game week are all the ones that are so expensive. So you can
They're going to
literally swap them
enable
out for
like
any
some wild
player in the game.
movement.
Yeah. So that question was from OG Booze Hindu. Thanks for that one. And then another wild card related question. Our guy Graham Addy down under. He asked, "What are your 5-player picks for wildcard teams minus the 3 big hitters?" So I think he's referring to Palmer, Salah, and Haaland. Please no Salah, room temperature Palmer, or Sally the Viking. Okay, those are the 3. I got them right. He's keen to go for a team of top talents and fun spreads across the squad. Get loose and sexy on this one, boys. I mean, this game week,
the first stab?
If you're feeling spicy, I think Cunha from open play looked scintillating versus Fulham. He hit the bar. He was in a lot of the right positions. I think he's coming up with a haul very soon here. I would love to have a double up on United just for this match alone versus Burnley and see if you can strike with 2 of those guys. Other than that, I think like I'm evaluating possibly bringing in Semenyo. He's a good long-term pick. He's going to be taking a lot of shots. He usually doesn't make most of them, but 90-minute man. He's like just a boss with the ball.
He looks
I love watching him. So I think he's a good pick. He's like 7.1 or 7.2 already. So he's price risen a few times. But and then another player I was considering was Anthony Gordon, who has taken a ton of shots playing out of position number 9. And obviously he has gotten the X
off the menu.
So he's out.
86.
So those are a few of my considerations in the midfield. Who do you like, Bucks?
Yeah, so I think forward line, if you are going to wild card, you probably will have João Pedro, Chris Wood, and Ekitike for now. That would be kind of the optimal front 3, I would say, for the upcoming fixtures. Ekitike could be Gyökeres, it could be Watkins, just give you that flexibility there.
Yeah. Watkins hasn't delivered, but they have, I think, Burnley and Sunderland.
He's gotten good chances. He has gotten
Burnley
good chances.
and Sunderland in game week 5 and 7, and so like I'm going to hold Watkins through that that period because I think there's a couple double-digit hauls waiting to come, and if managers move off of him, I think it's more for our game then.
Interesting. Okay, so like I said, I think though Chris Wood, he's a player that I think he's doing enough to earn a spot in managers' thoughts. You mentioned Semenyo. I love that pick. I think he's been the most impressive budget midfielder, kind of 7.5 and under. Him and Gakpo have really been the 2 to pick, not Verts and Bruno so far. You mentioned Cunha. I actually think Mbomo is the one that I would want to have. I think he's the one who's getting into the most dangerous spots. He's just not getting the final ball there just yet. So I think, game week 3, slightly softer opponent. He needs a goal. I mean, they all need goals in the worst way with all the spending they've done.
Oh,
but
man,
I think
that's the only thing that I'm like wary of now as a Bruno holder. He missed the first pen. Is he going to gift it to one of these guys to get him off off to their career? So at United,
so those are some attackers that I like. Going a little deeper into the kind of watch list. I mean, Sarr from Crystal Palace, they have good fixtures. I think Esteval, if we know that Palmer's injury is going to be slightly longer than maybe what I'm praying for, he
I
looks
have
like an
no interest
excellent
in
pick.
that as the FPL pick.
All right, well, 6.5. He's second in the league in XG, and he hasn't been playing full 180 minutes. So he's been really dynamic. And then
Yeah,
in
fun to watch.
defense, Tarkowski, I mean, I skipped him. I think he's almost a must.
Yep.
Senesi, I have Trufert. I mean, this Senesi guy looks like a brilliant bargain at 4.5 million. So those are just a couple of names that, are on my watch list for sure and are people that I'm thinking about getting in.
Yeah, if you're going to wild card, I would focus on bringing in an Arsenal defender as well. I think they've been overlooked. So if you're going to wild card early, you can back them. They have really tough fixtures coming out there. You're looking at Liverpool,
Yeah,
NFO,
that's the
and
issue.
City,
That's kind of why I think
and then
skip the wild
Newcastle.
card.
But yeah, I think a lot of people are looking at their fixture swing towards game week 7 is where the Arsenal defense is going to be really popular. But yeah, and then I think like Munoz at Crystal Palace, he's coming off back-to-back
Great shout.
5-pointers in tough fixtures. He got an assist to Sar. He's going to be available most matches. He's
He's
fitness
basically
beast,
a winger.
He's running up and down.
He's like a wide forward. He's
yeah.
You look at the heat maps.
I
He's
think
like
it's
in
fun
front
to have
of
that
Mateta.
balance of like having a few of those just boss center backs that you roll out every week, and then one of your players as an attacking threat like a Munoz is pretty fun.
Well, that was supposed to be those Nottingham Forest guys, and they suck now. So yeah, go figure. Let's go to the next question.
Regression
Angle.
to the mean for NFL.
Yeah, tired legs. Bob Angle's asking through Instagram. Look at this engagement through alternate resources. Bruno, is he worth holding, or it's time to transfer out? So I think, listen, I am not the biggest
Burnley
Bruno
at
fan.
home. Burnley at home.
Hold for Burnley at home.
There's no possible way to move him.
You don't have to captain him, but just having him in your team is differential enough. And so if you don't have the urge to give him double chance at points, at least have him give you one more go with Burnley. So hold the, don't hit the wild card button. Don't hit the transfer out button for Bruno Fernandes just yet.
Yep. And then another question related to Bruno we have from Instagram at FPL Rundown. Go follow him.
Ooh.
He's put out some fun, cool graphics. He says, is it worth doubling up on United midfield for the upcoming game week? So, like I said before, Acuna plus Bruno could be fun for this game week, but then you're looking at who do they have coming up? They have City away, Chelsea at home. Those are two tough back-to-back fixtures, but if you're a Red Devils fan, maybe you go for the double up and hope that they find some attacking form.
There's better value. There's better value elsewhere.
Choose one.
Yeah. Choose your guy, and just that'll be who the jersey you wear on match days, as you kind of hopefully aren't going to cry after the full-time whistle. Let's go FPL Barrister, aka Jeremy. He's asking about the likelihood that maybe Nuno is not long for the Nottingham Forest manager. Does that make their defense,
dude? This owner at NFO, what a rat fink this guy is. Nuno helps put in one of the best seasons in recent NFO history in 50 plus years, probably. What it probably feels like for Forest fans. And
longer.
What's going on there, Bucks? It's such a weird, contentious relationship that the owner and Nuno are having right now.
Yeah, and it goes beyond
Trust
that. I think,
is broken.
they brought in a sporting director, a pretty high prized get that they landed. I think his name is Edu or something of that nature. And he's also at odds with Nuno. So Forest are actually one of the busier teams in the transfer window. I mean, they have brought in a host of young midfielders. They have a new winger. They have a new young striker that they beat out a couple of other teams for their signature. So, they're busy in the transfer window. And yet Nuno's just like pounding on the table. We want more. It's like, give me more. I'm pissed over here. It's like, golly, I don't know who to side with here, but whatever it is, it's not going to end up being good for the fans and the output on the field. Because I think right now what we're seeing is just kind of a team in flux. They don't know whether to listen to the coach or if he's kind of not long to be the manager.
Yeah, at the same time, I mean, they coming off a 3-0, 3-1 victory where they're in full control versus Brentford, a weakened side in game week 1, but 1-1 draw against Palace is that's like a result that I would have expected to be a draw. Like honestly, they're
Yeah,
pretty two
away.
evenly matched teams, and I don't know. It's just this owner that comes on the pitch and is like yelling at players and just hanging out with his fat belly out. I don't know. Fuck him, man. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not siding
Greek.
with
He's
ownership.
Greek.
I'm not siding up with ownership.
He has good
Yeah,
genes.
he can't wear
Well,
jeans. He's
I
so
was gonna
big.
say, yeah, he wears the
The linen
sweatpants
pants with
jeans.
the
I would
drawstring.
not panic. I would not panic about
Nah.
Nottingham Forest defense. They've been fine. They haven't gotten the clean sheet. They've been right on the door of it at least once. So not a panic position right now.
Yep. Question next here is from at my Cayman fan. He wants to know, what is your thought on farming team value this early in the season? I don't go for the early transfers just because I'd rather there's
Gordon
always an alternative.
is a perfect example. Gordon
there's
is
always
the
an
perfect
alternative.
Example.
Yeah.
I think listen, team value is important, right? I mean, your team value last season was like what?
Yeah, it's like
2 million more than mine. Yeah.
Oh no, it was like 110, dude. It was absurd.
Yeah. So I think it's more important at this point in the season than it is later in the season. But I think picking the right player is more important than picking the right player for the cut price. So I think that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Who cares? All right.
There's just not that much information. So going early on these players that we don't have like a large subset of data on, and a lot of them are out of form, I just would rather wait. And, if it's a difference of getting, one defender over another, or, there's plenty of options out there. I feel like the player pool is still like pretty large. Unless you're like obsessed with one single player and you're making one transfer, then you could make it early. But if you have two transfers, I want all the information I can get. We didn't hear anything about Cole Palmer and his little niggle, and then that's something that sometimes comes out in the pressers on Friday, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I used my transfers, and now I got my star player that I was looking to captain
burn a
is
transfer.
Out, and so I hate being forced into that kind of situation.
Yeah, and perfect example of that just happened because we had a bonus match on Monday here in game week 2. Anthony Gordon, I saw on socials, he was already brought in by over 75,000 managers, and now he's suspended for game week 3. I mean, he all of a sudden goes,
Leeds at home in that next match.
You want to have him, but you just wasted a very precious transfer on a player who's now not going to be available for your team. So those are the reasons to kind of wait on making moves. The team value, it speaks for itself. If it goes good, it feels great. If it doesn't, you just have created another problem for your team.
Yep. Next up, we have a team-specific question from at FPL Big Apple, aka Alex. He's thinking about going from Gyökeres to Wood because of the Arsenal fixture run with West Ham, Burnley, and Sunderland. 3 out of the next 4 for Wood.
Yeah, I like Wood.
Man, I don't know if it's worth taking out Gyökeres, though. He's going to be on penalties. Like, Arsenal are obviously a formidable team. Like, I still fancy them to score a couple in these matches. I mean, City they're giving up chances defensively like they always are. So I'm not as afraid of that. And just based on what we saw from this Liverpool team, they're going to give up at least 1+ XG a match. And I don't see that changing. Like, Konate has been fucking dog shit. He was so bad today.
He was terrible. He honestly was pretty close to getting a second yellow at least twice.
So I mean, Gyökeres is going to run at those guys.
I think if that's a move you're thinking about, right? You want to go Gyökeres to Wood. Looking at your team, you could go Palmer down to like a 7.5 mid, and then go your bench enabler 4.5 forward up to Wood. So then you get both worlds. So I kind of like that move a little bit more. So
yeah,
one to consider
for sure. Next up, we have kind of a priorities question from FPL Point Break.
I'm not good at this.
Andrew. So he's a good lad. I chatted with him on the at FPL SideNet podcast Down Under. He says Palmer to a Man U mid, or Watkins to Gyökeres, or Wood/Pedro, or one of my underperforming 4.5 defenders like Wan-Bissaka or De Kuiper. I mean, you can't make the defensive transfer.
No,
just roll out these guys. Yeah, 3 is definitely out. You save these guys until your early wild card and then sort it out then. But I mean, if you're gonna move one of those defenders, I want to get a 5-5 defender. Like I want Tarkowski or Munoz.
Good
So
shout.
maybe there's a world where he has 2 free transfers. He goes Watkins down to Wood, gets 1.5, and then can move one of his 4.5s up to one of those guys. So like that's something I would consider.
Yeah, I think the option of these, especially because you don't list the Manchester United midfielder that you clearly in love with the most, I would almost just recommend to roll Watkins. Again, he's getting the chances. Villa are not converting right now, but the fixtures
The
are excellent.
fixtures.
So I would almost, just keep the faith with Watkins. There is a natural jumping off point in a couple of game weeks where you could either go to Ekitike or you can go to Gyökeres. So I would just hold the faith for 1 or 2 more game weeks at minimum with him.
Yeah, I mean, Villa have Crystal
Unless
Palace
you're like
at
me
home.
and you have a triple up on Villa, right? I mean, then you look like a big idiot.
Yeah, I mean, basically the same points as having Bruno instead of
Rodgers,
Morgan Rodgers. So I don't know. None of these are any of these players any good? The first 2 game weeks have just been so frustrating for these picks. But
we'll find out. We'll find out. Let's keep it going. Brian, aka Hella _ FPL. He has Saka and Jorginho Rudder both injured, and he only has 1 free transfer. So this is an interesting question. He wants to know if he just sells 1 and uses his bench, or just sell Saka, bench Jorginho, and kind of maybe even he's saying an upgrade Guy to a Wood. So he's willing to take the -4. What do you think?
Aggressive.
I think I would take the -4. Don't wildcard this team. You have
3 million.
You have pretty much a lot of other stuff going well. I don't love the Bowen pick, but again, you have flexibility because you're selling Saka. So I would just take the hit, I think.
Yeah, I would probably just move Saka and hold and just get another week of information before taking a hit, because the entry point this week, who do we have here? NFO is playing West Ham. And I guess that is
then
pretty
they have
juicy.
harder fixtures, I think, right after that. So it's
NFO has Arsenal away, but then Burnley and Sunderland right after that. So then that is a good fixture run. That's 3 great ones. So I guess if you have enough in the bank to go like Saka to Semenyo and Gui up to Wood for a -4, I think that that'll get repaid in the next 4 matches with those fixture run for NFO.
Yeah, and I think the reason I like that more is because you could just bench Rudder, and I think you'd rather bench Rudder than, at least then where he's going to slot in on your bench.
Get rooted to the bench, you Brighton piece of shit.
you kind of want points from one of those positions, so I like that. Kind of maximize the potential routes to points from your forward line. I like that.
Yeah, he's got Gakpo and Salah. He's got a few other midfielders who'll get points. So
yeah, Dewsbury Hall can just become kind of your 4th midfielder for the time being. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Wolves away for Everton after coming off a 2-0 victory.
All right, I got one last question. Came direct to my DMs. Shout out to Andrew Steinberg, Papa to be, another FPL dad in the making. He was asking, with Palmer's injury, kind of what my sense is on that. I think he will miss until at least game week 4, which is after the international break. And then he was asking specifically if Pedro Neto will be the one to benefit most.
Good preseason, scored a goal.
He's been very involved, but I think Estevao, if you're going to risk it with kind of any of those Chelsea wingers, Estevao has the vibes. So he's the podcast pick.
Yeah, I feel like Estevao, he could start some matches, but I don't think he's going to be playing 90 and trusted like Neto, obviously just based on his pedigree. Yeah, 65. So I don't mind the Neto shout. Who does Chelsea have? We got Fulham at home, Brentford away, United away, Brighton at home in the next 4. So it's good. Like decent fixture run. But I have Palmer, and I think we can almost exit this section. Thank you to everyone in the FPL community for engaging. But let's transition to our team's Bucks, and my team is a bleep show. I have this Palmer problem. I have Fulkrug. I feel like I just need to downgrade Palmer and just trust captaincy in Bruno this week versus Burnley. And then look at the option where I will basically be upgrading Fulkrug to any forward that I want. So that's probably where I'm going to go and just use my 2 free transfers.
Anyone but that guy.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, West Ham, again, they're playing NFO away this week, and that's not going to go well. I don't like that at all. So, yeah, just a bad pick, and I wish I would have had the stones to go with Thiago early days, because I think he's a player that I would have.
Wataru looks like the guy instead, maybe at $6 million. All right,
yeah,
what's your move?
Again, not bad, but at least Thiago's on pens, and he was $6 million. So when I was looking at my game week 1 team, it was like, I'm getting a $6 million forward. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Thiago or Füllkrug, and I
fair.
Fucking fell into the sticky wicket and picked the German. So anyway, that's me. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm going to do my transfers on Friday.
Cap is Bruno, and you're saying Palmer and Füllkrug out. You're going to bring in, you think, Semenyo and say Chris Wood. That's your...
Maybe Gyökeres. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, spicy. Letting us stay on the line here. All right, I think a little bit better set up. I have Palmer. He's currently a problem in my midfield. I'll be getting Konza back from his red card, so I have at least a full playing bench by looks of it. I think I'm going to go Palmer to Semenyo. I think I'm going to go Guy up to Chris Wood. I think that's the most pragmatic kind of solve for now, but also be aggressive. If I only do one of the moves, I think I will do Palmer. If I only do one move, I think I will do Palmer maybe even further down. So to be like kind of an enabler for a future big move. And that will just kind of leave me with the flexibility to potentially get Isak in. So that's kind of the only left field strategy that I am thinking about. If he stays in Newcastle, I think he's an excellent value. Of course, if he goes to Liverpool, he will have transcendent FPL value at 10.5 million. So I'm just kind of leaving myself in one corner. That's like a 25% chance that I want to leave that option open. So if I go, say, Palmer down to NDI, Everton have a couple of good fixtures coming up. I even like the idea of going to Gibbs White for Nottingham Forest. Good fixtures. Again, that's going to free up a lot of money in my team and gives me a pathway to maybe go for a guy like Isak. Interesting. But probably what I'll do is the safer move, which is just double switch my problem guys out. Palmer, rip him out, get Semenyo, he's the talisman, and then get Guy up to Chris Wood. And then I'll captain Chris Wood.
Oh, captain Chris Wood at home versus West Ham. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
they did look diabolical. No, I don't mind it. He's going to be. I think should be good for a goal.
Yeah, I think if you have Chris Wood or Bruno, you almost feel obligated to captain them because the fixture's
so good,
and they have so many routes to points. I also
you prefer for my team you prefer Wood over João Pedro.
No, I think João Pedro. If you don't have him, I think João Pedro is the number one priority buy for.
Really, man.
Especially
the fixtures for NFO are just like so good.
Yeah, but I think he's more
West
dynamic.
Ham, Burnley, and Sunderland in the next 4. Those are like 3 of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think Chelsea have shown that they could. I don't know. It's probably a toss up. It's a good point. I'm always going to back the Chelsea guy, Brian. I mean, you can't put me in that position.
Yeah, the problem is the Chelsea also play Fulham. There should be some goals in that. Brentford away is like a bad fixture for Chelsea. We've lost to Brentford many times over the last couple of years.
I'm just saying, you look at those fixtures.
Brentford are specifically like, fuck Chelsea. We're going to get up for this game, and they somehow put in like
their
really
home
impressive
matches
shifts.
Are always lively. But I will say, you look at that next 3 games. You have Fulham, Brentford, and Manchester United. There are goals in all 3 of those matches for Chelsea. I mean, yes, Forest, of course, they're probably going to score against. They're going to score against West Ham. We know that. Sunderland and Burnley, probably they'll score.
Those teams are so
I don't know.
bad.
I just think they're. It's hard to say because, of course, Palmer leaving the Chelsea attack has huge knock-on effects. So maybe I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to you. But I think it's very close. Those are the 2 priorities.
Yep. All right. That's a wrap, Bucks. Let's get out of here. Thank you,
hold
everybody.
On, right? I think you wouldn't be captaining João Pedro.
Definitely
so I guess
I will not.
Maybe I have to come around. Chris Wood, he's probably the guy.
We'll see. But this West Ham team, I just like they have nowhere to go. They have no young talent to come off the bench, and so anyway, All right, now can we start the farewell exit and say goodbye to our lovely
Yeah,
listeners?
sorry. I just wanted, a couple more seconds with you. All right. This
Yeah,
has
yeah,
been
yeah.
a great
Time for
episode
dinner.
of the FPL USA Press Play podcast. Brian's done with his beer. That's what that means. And it's time for him to walk the dog. So
That's right.
I'm Bucks. You can find me on social, FPL USA Bucks. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me wallowing in my pit of despair and
At
agony
33
and
points.
anguish in the seventh ring of Devante's Inferno in the fiery depths of hell at FPL USA Brian, having a little bit of a shocking start to the year, but we'll turn it around. We have all 36 game weeks ahead of us, and overall I would say
More
for
fun.
anybody who's like, this is a game that we play, and it's just so funny to see all of these picks flop at the same time. Like usually, you hit on half of them to
No,
get
it's
you some
diabolical.
points. Yeah, but it's such a weird space to be in. So I'm very jealous of your high score, Bucks. You're doing well to start the season. So let's continue that momentum. Green
I always
arrows
do.
wishing to everybody.
Fast
Yep.
starter. Let's get out of here. Join us on social. You can find our podcast, our YouTube. We have the handle FPL USA Press Play. Follow us along and get involved. If you're already playing FPL, we'd love to include you in our mini league for weekly shoutouts, cash prizes for the cup winners, and also free kits at the end of the season to the top 3 managers in our league. So get involved. That is code PELL04. Toodles.
That's right.
And let's get those
And
green arrows.
I'll double down. Please follow us on YouTube. We're starting to build that out more. Hopefully you're checking out this video right now. And then also on TikTok, posting some green screen, one-off 30-second rants. So Bucks and I are going to be doing that a lot more this season to have some fun with it when shit hits the fan. So please follow us on those platforms, and we'll see you soon.